What's up, Facebook world? It's your girl, Mindy C, coming at you on Friday night. I'm gonna make some lasagna cupcakes tonight. Yes, lasagna cupcakes. My name is Mindy. I'm from Michigan. If you are live with me, drop me a 1. You'll see that red live rectangle box up in the corner there. If you're on the replay, that's okay. Just say hello, hi, and I will come by and see you. Tonight I'm making lasagna cupcakes, you guys. So super easy. And you can do this. I've made this recipe like regular lasagna, but I'm making lasagna cupcakes. So I have, I used to make lasagna cupcakes before I started eating keto, but I really didn't have a noodle or anything that I could make them with. So these are quick and easy, and they're easy to know how many carbs are in each one rather than cutting big pieces. Hey Eric, hey Christine, how are you doing? Hey Madison, nice to see you on here. I'm making lasagna cupcakes. So I've got some ground, I got 1 pound of ground burger here. And I put a little bit of Italian seasoning, some garlic powder, some onion powder, and I've already drained that. So I'm gonna use one cup of Rao's, however you say it. Hey Karen, how are you doing? Hey Karen Welsh, how are you doing? Hi Madison, how are you doing? So 1 pound of ground beef. I'm going to put about 1 cup. So a half cup of this has, and this is the vodka sauce. So there's marinara and then there's vodka. So this vodka sauce is a tomato sauce with cheese and vodka. And it's got 1 less carb than the actual marinara. So you can sometimes you can save some carbs by looking at the labels. The marinara is fine. I have that too. Don't freak out or anything, but always look at your labels because you might find something that's got 1 less carb. And 1 less carb can mean a lot on the keto lifestyle or the low carb. I'm going to use about 1 cup in here. That's all I'm putting in there. And I'm going to put about 3/4 cup of mushrooms in there. So just 1 pound of ground beef, and I've got about 1 cup left in the jar, so I'm putting it all in there. So we're just going to put all of that in there. So you can measure it out, but I already looked at it. It only had like that much in it. So 1 cup of marinara. What is that? That big old tomato thing in there. I'm going to take that out of there right now. All right, so we don't want none of that crap. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there too. So you can also put some onions in there. So the mushrooms are like for a filler, so it'll stretch your meat a little bit. So it'll stretch your sauce. So I like to put a little onions in there. I like to put a little mushrooms because it makes your batch a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna put about a spoonful of minced garlic. It's just for flavor, you know, and you don't have to put flavoring in there, but I like to flavor things up. So get lots of spices, Italian spices, garlic powder, onion powder. Hey, Susan, how are you doing? Hey, Bill, how are you doing? Hey, Cindy. Hey, Mary. Oh, my goodness, I miss everything. Hey, Hobby. Hey, Amron, how are you doing? All right. Thank you for sharing, Madison. I appreciate you. Sharing is caring. Lasagna cupcakes. So I did make the noodles earlier because that's an extra step. So for the lasagna cupcakes. So right now I've just got some Rao's vodka sauce, about 1 cup, some mushrooms, some ground beef, some spices, and we're just going to let that marinate. I'm actually going to add a little bit of water because it's looking a little thick right now. So we're going to add just a little bit of water to loosen her up a little bit. That's it. So if it looks too thick, and that's okay. It can be thick. It doesn't have to be all. If you want to add more sauce, but again, you know, if you're watching your carbs, you always want to measure. So that's why I'm putting 1 cup in here so I know exactly how many carbs is going into the batch. So that is that for that. We're going to make the cheese mixture right now. So I like to use cottage cheese for my lasagna. So a lot of people use ricotta. Again, it's your kitchen. Use whatever you want. I like cottage cheese. So I'm using 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, which is going to equal out to about 2 tablespoons per muffin tin. So I'm going to put my lasagna cupcakes in muffin tins. So 1.5 cups divided by 24 is 2 tablespoons per muffin tin. So once you get to learn the measurements and everything, you'll know exactly. So you can, so these lasagna cupcakes are going to be about maybe just under 3 carbs per, probably more like 2 carbs per little mini cupcake. Lasagna cupcake. So this is not a dessert, you guys. This is a dinner. Hey Naomi, how are you doing? Christine, I am using a noodle that I make from mozzarella cheese, cream cheese, eggs, and some spices, and that's it. It's literally like 2.5 cups of, it's 2.5 cups of mozzarella. It's 1 block of cream cheese, and then you melt that in the microwave, and then you add a 1/2 cup of, after it gets all melty, about 2.5 minutes. These are for the noodles. And then you put in a 1/2 cup of Parmesan, and then you put in 3 eggs. And then you will spread it on a cookie sheet of parchment paper and bake it in the oven at 350 degrees. And you can cut strips. I cut circles because I am making my old-time favorite lasagna cupcake. So this is what they look like. So I used my biscuit cutter, and I've got a couple different sizes so I could stretch the whole, because I couldn't get all of the big ones on the cookie sheet, so I had to cut a few small ones too. So, and then I've got some miscellaneous pieces that I'll just fill in the blanks with on the other tins. So fairly easy to make it. A couple, 2.5 cups of mozzarella for the noodles, 8-ounce block of cream cheese. You make it all melty in the microwave, 2.5 minutes. Add 3 eggs, a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese, and I added some spices. And then you spread it on a cookie sheet with parchment paper and bake it for 15-20 minutes. And if you would rather do the strips and cut strips and make it into like a pan of lasagna, you can do that. But I wanted to make them into little cupcakes because I used to make them all the time. So again, I got my meat layer, and now we're gonna make my cheese layer. So I'm using 1 egg, and I'm gonna use 1.5 cups of cottage cheese. So I've got my measuring spoons over here. So 4 tablespoons is going to be a 1/4 cup. So I'm using 1.5 cups. And that's how I know there's going to be 2 tablespoons of this mixture. So I know I have enough mixture for each muffin tin. So that's how I'm measuring it. I don't even know what this... Oh, let me stir this up a little bit. It looked kind of weird. Just got it from the store. Okay, so 1.5 cups of the cottage cheese. I'm going to add... I've got 1 egg in here. And I've got some, I'm going to put some Parmesan cheese in there. I'm going to put some Italian seasonings in here. And that will be my cheese mixture. So 1.5 cups of cottage cheese. And again, some people aren't cottage cheese fans. I am, and I don't eat cottage cheese very often on the keto lifestyle because it's got 5 carbs for a 1/2 cup. When I'm putting it in with the recipe, I can stretch it. So I always... it's a personal preference, so I just don't want to spend 5 carbs on a 1/2 cup of something. So I would rather spend 5 carbs on like a piece of lasagna versus a 1/2 cup of... So I like to use... So I steer clear of cottage cheese, but I use it in recipes. But I do love it. Love it with some salt and pepper. You're welcome. You're so welcome, Christine. Hey, Brianna, how are you doing? Thank you, girlfriend. So I'm making my cheese mixture. So I'm going to put about, about a 1/2 cup of Parmesan in here. I'm just going to pour some in there. You don't want to pour a whole lot. So I'm going to pour about a 1/2 cup in there. I'm going to put a little bit of garlic in there. Shake a little bit of garlic in there. I'm going to shake a little bit of onion powder in here. Oh, that was a lot of onion powder. Woo! That's okay. That's all right. We make mistakes around here. That's fine. That's just fine. All right. Lasagna cupcakes. So this is my cheese mixture right here. Cottage cheese, 1 egg, some Parmesan cheese, and some Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder. That's my cheese mixture in here. And of course, you're going to need some shredded mozzarella too. So, so a meat sauce, a cheese layer, and that is it. And we are going to take ourselves over here so we can see the assembly. Make sure you, let me get that in. Whoa. Okay, here you are. Hi. All right, so let me get the assembly. So you're going to need a muffin tin, and you need to spray that with some cooking paper. You're going to need to spray it with some cooking spray, not cooking paper. I don't even know what cooking paper, well, parchment paper, I guess, cooking paper. So spray your muffin tin and bring your meat sauce over. Hopefully that's not too hot. Hold on, there we come. All right, so we'll get that. I'm gonna get my tablespoon out, because this is how you know exactly what you're putting into your lasagna cupcakes. You're gonna take your noodles that I made and I cut out, and you don't want to press them down in too hard, you know, because you want to be able to get them out. So we are going to do 1 tablespoon of cheese mixture, and then, oh, let me get a different one because I don't want to get the meat. And then we are going to do 1 tablespoon of meat, okay? And then we are going to take another noodle, and we're going to put that right over top. Whoa, that's going to be, whoa, we might have to, all right, well, that's going to be a big one. That's okay. We're going to try this out. Some of these noodles, if I want to actually split this noodle recipe in half and make the noodles thinner, because some of them are thicker. You have to make sure that you spread it out evenly. But this will work. This will be fine. So, yeah, this will just work right just like that. And we're just going to put some mozzarella after that. Okay, so we're going to put 1 noodle down below, 1 scoop, maybe a little bit less. And that's it. That's how we're doing this. Lasagna cupcakes. And then when I take them out, they're going to look like little cupcakes. But the good kind, the savory kind. So 1 little spoonful of cheese. So noodle, cheese, meat, noodle, cheese, meat, and then we'll top it with mozzarella. And then we'll bake it in the oven at 350 for, I don't know, till the cheese melts, gets all melty and everything. Everything's pretty much melted already. Like, that one's kind of thick, but that's okay. I'm gonna go along, and I'm gonna put all of these noodles in the muffin tin. So again, for these noodles, it was 1 block of cream cheese, 2.5 cups of shredded mozzarella, and you melt that in the microwave for 2.5 minutes. Get it all melty, and then you're gonna add 3 eggs and whisk them up first. That's how I made my noodles. I've made some different noodles. These are my favorite ones to make. These ones taste the closest to a regular noodle when you're using it in like a lasagna recipe. So I'm filling my muffin tins right now, you guys. Hey, Kathy, how are you doing? Kathy, the noodle recipe is 2.5 cups of mozzarella. So if you guys want to grab a pen for this noodle recipe, 2.5 cups of mozzarella and 1 box of cream cheese, an 8-ounce package. And then you'll also need 3 eggs. And I actually added Italian seasoning, garlic powder, and onion powder. But you also need a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. So 2.5 cups of mozzarella, 1 block of cream cheese, 3 eggs, and a 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. And then you can add the seasonings. I added garlic powder, onion powder. And then you do the cheese, the 2 cheeses, the mozzarella and the cream cheese in the microwave safe bowl, 2.5 minutes, get it all melty, whisk up 3 eggs, add it to the mixture, mix it up, pour your Parmesan cheese, and then you're gonna spread it onto a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper and bake it in the oven for 15 to 20 minutes on 350 degrees. And then you can cut them in strips, you can cut them in circles, you can do it however you want. And I'm doing lasagna cupcakes tonight because I love lasagna cupcakes. And each one of these little cupcakes is only going to have about 2 carbs in it, doing it this way. So I know when I go and grab one later on, I know it's 2 carbs. So I like to have that discipline in my life. I don't like to eat a whole piece of lasagna and wonder how many carbs in it because I forgot to figure it out. So this makes it easier for me to figure out. So there we go. We're going to we'll probably have some cheese mixture left over too. So, and you're only going to get this much carbs if you use all the mixture. And it looks like I'm not going to use all of this mixture. So, maybe I will. I don't know. I can't eyeball this stuff. So, just a little bit of cheese, a little bit of meat, and then another noodle. So 2 noodle layers, and there we go. Let me see. Did I miss any questions? Hey, Brandy, how's it going? Hey, Kimberly, what's going on? Hey, Jessica. Hey, Leonore, how are you doing? Hey, Leslie. Did I miss any? Hey, Marie, how are you doing? Hey, Leah, how are you? Hey, Kathy. Hey, Jillian. Hey, Christine. You are welcome. You are very, very welcome. Yes, lasagna cupcakes tonight, you guys. So, super easy. I made the noodles earlier. Well, not really earlier. I worked literally all day long. I've been on the road all day long with, I have out calls that I go see for my massage business. So, today was my, Tuesdays and Fridays are my out call days. So, I'm on the road literally from 8:30 in the morning all the way up until about 6, almost 7 o'clock at night. So, I came right home and I made up the noodles, I made the meat mixture, and that's what I'm doing. So, I've been starving for lasagna cupcakes. And there we go. And then we just put another, so that's got meat and cheese. They're like, so they each one gets 2 little noodles. And then I probably could have used smaller noodles, actually. Yeah, let me cut that. All right. So you can even, if you've got leftover stuff, you can even, that's okay. Whatever. It's too big, that's fine. We're just going to stick it in there anyways. So I think I'll use the smaller muffin ones. So I used to, when I made lasagna cupcakes before, I would use, you know, the wonton wrappers that you can buy in the store. That's what I would use because they are lighter noodle. They're really thin. And all you had to do is put wonton noodle in each one. And then you make your cheese mixture, your meat mixture, and then layer it up. So you use 2 wonton noodles. So that's how I used to make lasagna cupcakes. So now I'm doing keto. We got to find all of these fun, creative ways to make things. So so the next time I do make these noodles, I'll probably split it into 2 batches, 2 cookie sheets. And that way the noodle will be a little bit thinner for me. Because, you know, the muffin things are only this big, for God's sakes. But it's going to work. It'll work just fine. It will work just fine. So each one of these is going to have about 2 carbs in it, you guys. Probably less than that because I'm not even using all of the cottage cheese here. Last time I didn't have enough cottage cheese mixture. Now I have a little bit too much. So I'm not perfect at eyeballing things. I just guesstimate. And then if you got leftover, that's cool. If you need more, you can make more too. So there we go. There we go. I gotta get rid of these. These tablespoons. That's what's. And we're just going like this. You gotta go like an assembly. You know, when you don't got time and you want your dinner, you gotta get this going. Gotta get it going in the oven. And I'm not gonna have anything with these tonight. I don't have any lettuce. I need to go to the grocery store. Going back to work full time has got my refrigerator empty. That's okay. I'm thinking about doing that shipped. That's what I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about having somebody else do my grocery shopping for me. Just make it easier on my life. And there's it. Hey, quiet. There goes my damn dogs again, barking at nothing probably. Shh, quiet. All right, so there we go, lasagna cupcakes. Hey, Frasier, how are you doing? Making some lasagna cupcakes tonight. So I've got I made my own little noodles earlier out of some mozzarella, some cream cheese, and some eggs. That is it. And you bake it in the oven. And I cut little circles. And I made a cheese mixture and a meat mixture. And I'm topping them off with some mozzarella right now. And they're going to go in the oven. And these bad boys are going to have about 2 carbs per. So I have not had but 3 carbs today. So I can have at least 3 of these bad boys. So I like to save my carbs for the end of the night so I can have a nice, delicious dinner. So you really can get away with using a lot of carbs. There's about 40 carbs in this whole pan. So you divide it into 24. It's about 2 carbs per cupcake. And then you just pop them in the oven like that. Woo! All right. Pop them in the oven, and then when that cheese is all melty, they'll be done. They'll be done. I'll post the cheese noodle recipe in a little bit after I get some time. I've got some other recipes I gotta post from earlier in the week. I'm just so behind. Work's got me behind. Working as fast as I can. Hey, Kristen, how are you doing? Let me see if I miss it. Hey, Jason, how are you doing? Hey, Sue. Order pea pod. I've never heard of that, Sue, before. I've never heard of pea pod. Right. Okay, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Becky. Hey, Christine. Hey, Sandy. Hey, Kelly. You bake the noodles for 15 to 20 minutes. So you take 2.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, and then you take 1 block of cream cheese and you put it in a bowl and put it in the microwave for 2.5 minutes. Get it all melty, and then you're going to add 2 eggs, and then you're going to add 3 eggs. You're not going to add 2 eggs. You're going to add 3 eggs. So then you're going to add 3 eggs, and then you're going to add a 1/2 cup of Parmesan, and then you're going to mix it all together. I added Italian seasonings. I added garlic powder. I added onion powder to it. So, and then you're going to take your cookie sheet. I wanted to get you a cookie sheet, but I didn't have. You're just going to take your cookie sheet. You're going to line your cookie sheet with parchment paper. And you want to make sure that you get the parchment paper all on the edges. Because you don't want I didn't get it there, so you can see where it's stuck a little bit. So you want to make sure the parchment paper is around the whole thing, but you don't, and then you put it on there and you're going to spread it out with a spatula. Make sure it's all even. Again, the next time that I make them, I'm going to take 1 batch and I'm going to split it into 2 trays. That way I can get a thinner noodle because they're still good this way, but I still want a thinner noodle. And then you bake it in the oven at 350 degrees for 20 minutes. So that's the noodle that I use. That's my favorite noodle that I use. I made one from almond flour one time. I haven't tried the cauliflower noodle, and I haven't tried zucchini as a noodle yet either. But this is my favorite noodle to make out of cream cheese, mozzarella cheese, and egg. So super simple. It really mimics a noodle when you put it in a lasagna recipe, and I just absolutely love it. Yeah, so that's what I got for you guys. So, and that's all I got for you guys. All right. All right. Yep, 350 degrees, Becky, for those noodles. 15 to 20 minutes. Yep, that is right. You guys got it. Hey, Kelsey, how are you doing? You had zoodles tonight, Frasier? Yum. Yum. And see, I've got some extra left over, so I could even put that in a pan if I wanted to. But I'm not going to do that. So I know that I'm not going to get all of the carbs from the whole recipe. So, you can deduct a couple once you do your total amount. You can deduct a little bit. So I would probably deduct at least 5 carbs from the recipe from not using this. So then, that would make your carb count. But I'm just going to stick to 2 carbs per cupcake. And we'll just leave it at that. 2 carbs. That's really low. That's super low. So serve it with some salad. Serve it with some homemade breadsticks, however you make them. There's a ton of recipes out there. You can make it out of cheese or you can make it out of almond flour. A ton of recipes. But that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to wait for my lasagna. Eggplant. Ooh, I haven't tried eggplant yet, but I'm going to try some eggplant for sure. You are so welcome, Becky. Have a great 4th of July, you guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be floating around in my pool at some point. And so I do have to work tomorrow, though. So I am working tomorrow. I know. I work too dang much, but it's how I pay the bills. So that's all I got. You're the bomb too, Frasier. You are bomb.com. But that's all I got, you guys. So I'm going to wait for my dinner. Happy 4th of July. I'm going to wait for my dinner to get done. And I'm just going to relax. And I do have to work in the morning time. So it's going to be a short day for me. But I do have to work in the morning time. That is okay. I am okay with that. I am the boss. So, but I am a workaholic. So that's what I'm going to do. So I will talk to you guys soon. Happy 4th, Mary. Crawfish. Woo, girl. Are you from down south making that crawfish a toffee? I've never even heard of that before, but that I know that's got to be a southern thing if you're eating crawdads. So I used to catch crawdads when I was a kid around here in Michigan, but we don't eat no crawdads here in Michigan. But I've never had them. Maybe I'll come down south and try them sometime. You're gonna make dry baked ribs in your crock pot. That sounds delicious, Becky. Yum, yum, yum. I don't even know what I'm going to make for 4th of July. Maybe hot dogs. Maybe hot dogs. I think I'm going to go really easy. Maybe I'll make like a chaffle and I'll stick a hot dog in it with some ketchup and mustard and I'll be done with it. I don't know, but I know one thing. I'm going to have a cocktail and I'm going to be floating around in the pool and do something. I do have Sunday off, so I'll be doing something on Sunday for sure. All right, you guys, I'm out of here. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night, great Friday night, and a happy 4th of July. And don't drink too much. And remember to drink your water if you do drink too much. And if you have ketones, drink your ketones because that will help your hangover. Until next time, you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.